Here's something that genuinely breaks my brain every time I think about it. There are people pulling in $120,000 a year in this country, living in a decent suburb, driving a leased BMW, who are one missed paycheck away from a panic attack. And then there's a guy making $48,000, no degree, works a trade job, who just bought his second rental property. Same country, same economy, completely different financial reality. Today, I'm breaking down the 7 worst investments you're making right now. The ones that don't just drain your bank account, they quietly steal your future. Stick around, because number 3 is the one most people never even recognize as a problem. When you're young, money feels like it's basically just fuel for a good time. You earn it. You want something. You buy it, right? Here's the brutal truth nobody tells you. That mindset, that live-for-today relationship with your money, isn't just costing you dollars. It's costing you years. It's locking you inside what I call financial childhood well into your 40s, wondering why your paycheck evaporates before the next one hits. And here's the part that'll really sting. It's probably not your income that's the problem. It's daily invisible choices, small financial decisions that act like parasites, slowly eating your future from the inside out. These aren't dramatic mistakes. You won't see them coming. That's exactly what makes them dangerous. Let's go through all 7. Number 1. Buying other people's approval. You financed a phone you didn't need to impress people who don't care about you. Using money you hadn't earned yet. Read that again. We live in the most brand-manipulated era in human history. Every app on your phone is engineered to make you feel like you're not enough without the right logo on your chest or the right car in your driveway. So you buy the $1,200 iPhone on a payment plan. You grab the designer belt. You lease the car that eats 18% of your take-home. And for what? Respect? Here's the math, and it's cold. The more money you spend on looking wealthy, the less wealthy you actually become. Every dollar spent performing for strangers is a dollar that could be compounding in an index fund or buying a cash-flowing asset. The people you're trying to impress, they're doing the exact same thing. Broke, performing, scrolling. Real respect isn't bought, it's built. And it takes time, not credit. Number 2. Investing in air. 6 figures in 6 weeks. No experience necessary. You've seen the ads. You've probably clicked one. The online guru industry in America is worth billions, and most of it is selling you a feeling, not a skill. Here's a simple hack that'll save you thousands. Before you drop $2,000 on some guy's masterclass, buy his book for $17 on Amazon. Every legitimate educator has a book. Every major concept from that $1997 course is already in it. Read the first 50 pages. If the ideas are solid, keep going. If it's vague, motivational fluff dressed up in screenshots of a Lambo, you just saved $2,000. The real investment isn't in a course. It's in you developing a critical eye for what's actually worth your time and money. And this leads perfectly into the next one, which is honestly the sneakiest trap on this entire list. Number 3. Buying the dream instead of the skill. This is the trap your brain loves, because it feels like progress while being the exact opposite. You decide you're going to start a YouTube channel. So what do? You spend 3 weeks researching cameras, buy a $900 Sony, a ring light, a condenser mic, an editing laptop, and then you make 0 videos. You decide you're finally getting in shape. New gym clothes, pre-workout, a $60 a month gym membership, and you go 4 times before ghosting it like a bad Tinder date. Sound familiar? Your brain is not stupid. It's actually too smart. It found a shortcut. Buying gear gives you the dopamine hit of starting something without the discomfort of actually doing it. The purchase feels like action. It isn't. I'll give you a real example. I know a guy who got into powerlifting using a homemade barbell, literally a metal rod with cinder blocks on each side, training in his backyard. He went on to win a medal at a national competition. You want to start a podcast? Record the first episode on your phone, in your bedroom, tonight. Collect skills, not equipment. The gear follows results, never the other way around. Number 4. Investing in dead-end relationships. This one hits different because nobody wants to admit it's a financial issue, but it absolutely is. Toxic friendships. Dramatic relationships that are basically a second job in emotional labor. The friend who only calls when he needs something. Money. A favor. Someone to vent to for 2 hours straight. Every hour you spend managing someone else's chaos is an hour you're not building your business, developing a skill, or recovering so you can perform tomorrow. And it goes beyond time. Think about the actual money, the emergency loans that never came back, the therapy bills from processing someone else's dysfunction, the opportunities you missed because you were emotionally wrecked. The coldest, most honest thing I can tell you: the 5 people you spend the most time with are shaping your income, your mindset, and your future, whether you like it or not. Audit your circle, not with cruelty, but with clarity. Real talk, drop a comment right now. Which one of these has hit you the hardest personally? Number 1 through 7. I read every single one. Let's see what the most common answer is. Number 5. The escape illusion. Here's a spending pattern that's almost like a fingerprint for a broke mindset. And I say that with zero judgment, because the system is designed to exploit it. A guy is dropping $30 a week on sports betting, $15 a month on a gambling app, maybe another $20 on something else he's not proud of. He calls it unwinding. He calls it entertainment. But ask him to spend that same $65 a month on a Coursera certification that could bump his salary by $15,000. Nah, I can't afford that right now. You're investing in your weaknesses and cutting the budget for your growth. That's not a spending problem. That's a values problem. And until you see it that way, the math will never add up. You always find money for what you actually prioritize. Number 6. Paying for weak personal boundaries. The inability to say no is one of the most expensive character flaws a person can have. And in corporate America, it will eat you alive. You take on extra projects because you're scared of looking like you're not a team player. You do free work for clients, hoping it'll turn into a paid gig someday. You let a business partner slide on their half of the deal because confrontation feels worse than the loss. The result is always the same. You burn out, your output tanks, your pockets are lighter, and the people you bent over backwards for? They're not losing any sleep over it. Your time has a price. Your energy has a price. Every time you give it away for free out of fear or guilt, you're literally working below minimum wage for someone else's benefit. Strong boundaries aren't mean. They're a business decision. Start treating them that way. Number 7. Buying someone else's goals. This is the most expensive mistake on this entire list. Not in dollars, in years. The 30-year mortgage you took out at 27 because that's just what you do. The career you chose because it sounded stable and your parents approved. The life you're living that looks great on paper and feels completely hollow on Sunday night before the work week starts. You can be a straight-A student in someone else's curriculum and still fail at your own life. The problem with borrowed goals isn't that they're wrong for everyone. It's that they might be completely wrong for you. And you'll spend 10, 15, 20 years executing them perfectly, optimizing, grinding, checking every box, before you look up and realize you've been running someone else's race. The most successful people I've seen aren't the ones who followed the default script. They're the ones who had the courage. And yes, it takes courage to write their own. Here's the truth that ties all 7 of these together. The most valuable currency in your life isn't dollars. It isn't your 401k balance. It isn't your credit score. It's your years. You can lose $10,000 and earn it back. You can rebuild a credit score from 480 to 780. You can bounce back from a bad investment. But the years you spent performing for people who didn't care, staying in relationships that broke you, chasing goals that were never yours to begin with, those don't come back. Real financial maturity isn't just about earning more. It's about spending money, time, and energy in ways that make you stronger, freer, and closer to who you actually are. After every decision, that's the only question that matters. Did that make me more or less of myself? Here's your final takeaway. At the end of your life, the winner isn't the person with the most likes, the biggest house, or the fanciest LinkedIn profile. It's the person who played their own game and finished it. You don't owe anyone a performance. You owe yourself a life. If this video made you stop and actually rethink where your money and your time are going, hit that like button. It takes half a second, and it genuinely helps this channel reach people who need to hear this. Subscribe if you want more no BS content on money, mindset, and building a life that's actually yours. And share this with one person in your life who needs a reality check. Not to shame them, to wake them up. You don't owe anyone a performance. You owe yourself a life.